Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today I am so excited because we've just seen a whole bunch more news for Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet. They revealed 5 new Pokémon, 2 of which I will defend with my life, and some professors and a release date. And right, let's get it out of the way right at the beginning. The release date is November the 18th, and you didn't need to be told this. I told you guys all along the release date was going to be mid-November. And right, let's be clear, if you all get to come and mock me for saying Gen 9 wouldn't be revealed in the Pokemon Presents, and to be clear, you were absolutely right, I was wrong, I'll take that on the chin, I get to boast about knowing the release date. Yeah? That seems fair, right? You get to point out that I was wrong about it not being revealed in the Presents, but I get to point out that I told you the release date all along. But it wasn't even that big of a prediction to make. It's always mid-November. Pokemon games release in mid-November. For anyone that's wondering the reason, it's because the second half of November and December, they are the prime shopping weeks for Christmas. So that's why all the big games end up coming out in November, etc. It's why there's a Pokemon TCG set in November every year and not December. It was always going to be November. It was always going to be November. It was never going to be anything else. So mid-November makes sense. It's coming out on the 18th. And I'm here for it, ladies and gentlemen. Everything I'm hearing just sounds amazing. Now, we were shown the cover art, but we weren't shown a huge amount. So, we are told the new legendary Pokemon appearing in these titles, Koraidon and Miraidon, are on each cover of the retail version of the game, and the title logos are embellished with foil stamp-like designs that use the legendary Pokemon as motifs. The packages of these games have a similar look to the covers of old books, and evoke the feeling that a new story lies ahead. So basically, they're made to look like old books, but there's actually little foil around the logo, which I kind of appreciate. That's pretty gosh darn cool. And we do have the 2 legendary Pokemon. They have now gone and been revealed. Scarlet is Koraidon, as you may have guessed due to the colouring, and Violet is Miraidon, as you may have guessed due to the colouring, and I'm probably pronouncing those terribly. If I am, I'm very, very sorry. We do also have the official artwork of those Pokemon that gives us a close look at them. They're both very clearly lizard designed, and Miraidon has, for some reason, got like jet engines as legs. I'm going to be honest with you. As it stands at the moment, I'm going Pokemon Violet. Because you know what? That thing's really cool. I mean, I'm clearly buying both of them, but you know, as to which one I'm going to play first, it's going to be Violet. Speaking of getting both of them, it has been confirmed that there will be a double pack with a steelbook, which is coming to the UK. I am not aware of whether this is coming out in other territories at the moment. There's a decent chance that it will be. But as it stands at the moment, it is confirmed for the UK. I'm not aware of it being confirmed for anywhere else. If it is, let me know in the comment section, and I will pin a comment. But double pack, steelbook. I mean, I did it for Gen 7, and then again for Gen 7, and then for Gen 8. I feel like I'm probably going to do it for Gen 9 as well. That makes perfect sense. We have not been given any extra information about the box legendaries. We've not been given any details, measurements, things of that nature. I'm sorry. We just haven't been as it stands at the moment. One thing we are told, however, is multiplayer. Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet are the first open world RPGs in the Pokémon series, and they are explicitly described here as open world. Along with series staples such as training and battling Pokémon, players will be able to explore the various locations of the region in these games with up to 4 players. Now, I do not know at this stage whether that means the entire game. I don't know how gyms work. It could be that it's literally just you're all playing your own kind of thing and you're there together. It could be that you're just exploring the wild area. It could be that you team up with your friend in double battles against NPCs. We don't know is the honest answer. What we know is that you can have up to 4 players playing together, but as to the limits of this and what you're able to do together, because your traditional Pokemon game, you run through, you catch Pokemon, you train them, you battle gyms. Well, you're probably not going to be battling gyms as a team. Or maybe you are, I don't really know. So we don't know the exact limits of it, but we know it's coming. Now, we are told about some characters. We've got Professor Seda and Professor Turo. For the first time, one of two different professors will appear in the game, depending on which version you choose. In Pokémon Scarlet, you get Professor Seda, and in Pokémon Violet, you get Professor Turo. Each professor is carrying out research into lore passed down in the region. So we now have a couple different differences between the games. You've got a difference box legendary, and you've got a different professor, which is kind of important. We're also told about Nemona, who has a sunny, energetic disposition and is passionate about Pokemon battles. She's an experienced Pokemon trainer and serves as a friend and reliable guide for players on their adventure. Cool. Okay, so she's kind of like your rival/friend person. That's kind of lovely. But we're also introduced to 3 new Pokemon, and I'm just going to be out there, right? We're going to start with Lechonk. Because when Lechonk was revealed, the noise that I made convinced my wife to send me a text asking if I was okay. I don't do reveal streams or reaction streams. I feel like maybe I should, because my reaction was a little bit... And there was no one else in the room with me. I'm literally sitting in my studio by myself watching this trailer, and I'm still pulling out reactions that make my wife text me to ask me if I'm okay. But Lechonk is clearly adorable, uses its sense of smell to find and eat only the most fragrant wild grasses and the richest berries. Look at them. They're adorable. Of course they deserve the best. As a result of its dining habits, it has come to radiate an aroma resembling herbs that bug bite Pokemon dislike. If attacked by an opponent and startled, it will charge forward in a panic. It may appear fat at first glance, bit rude, but in reality the Pokemon's body is mostly muscle, built by constantly walking around in search of food. So, it got buffed by eating too much? I'm down with that. There is absolutely no way, I don't care what other Pokemon are revealed between now and the release of this game on November the 18th, there is zero chance Lechonk isn't making its way onto my team. Also, whoever actually called it Lechonk, hats off to you. So this is the Hog Pokemon. It's normal type, 1 foot 8 inches, 22.5 pounds, and it's got 2 possible abilities. And Aroma Veil protects itself and its allies from attacks that limit their move choices. And then we've also got Gluttony here, which is the one whereby berries that would usually be eaten when you've got 25% of health get eaten when you've got 50% of health instead. I am here for Lechonk. Lechonk is amazing. But Poor Me is also amazing. Let's be clear, Lechonk is the star for me, but Poor Me also did get a bit of a squeal when it was revealed to me. In addition to the electric sacs in its cheeks, Poor Me has electricity discharging organs on its forepaws. It generates electricity by rubbing its cheeks, then it shocks its opponents by touching them with the pads on its forepaws. The fur that covers its body is good insulation against the cold and serves the purpose of storing electricity. When it feels uneasy, this cautious Pokemon will begin rubbing its cheeks, preparing itself to discharge an electric shock. How adorable is that? And what we have here is the Mouse Pokemon, 1 foot tall, 5.5 pounds, and a couple potential abilities. We've got Static, which is the one whereby if a move makes contact with you, it may cause paralysis, which is honestly kind of annoying. If you ever played a whole bunch of Pokemon, you will know that this is actually super annoying. And then we've got potentially Natural Cure, which is the ability whereby all status conditions are healed when the Pokemon switches out. Now, the last Pokemon we were shown in terms of new Pokemon is Smoliv, who I'm going to be honest with you, does just look like it evolves into something like a Roselia. It looks very much like Bidoof, I'll be honest with you, but apparently it's different. The oil that comes out of its head has a very strong bitter taste and is not suitable for consumption. When startled or attacked, Smoliv will shoot this oil out, slowing its opponent down. It will then seize that moment to run away. In the fruit on its head, Smoliv stores oil made from nutrients it gathers through photosynthesis. As a result, it can go for a week without eating or drinking. It prefers dry and sunny climates, and it seems to spend its days sunbathing. Now, what is cool here, this is the Olive Pokemon, and obviously we've got kind of a Spanish theme going on here, so this makes perfect sense, and I kind of love it. It is a grass normal Pokemon. It is 1 foot tall, £14.3, and only one possible ability here. It is Early Bird. And that just means you wake from sleeping faster, which sounds pretty nice to me. Get back to that sunbathing. Now, we were given a bit of information about the first partner Pokemon as well. We were not shown the evolutions, nor really should we have expected to be. That was never really on the cards. The lovely Joe from Cerebi.net did show us what the equivalent trailer was at this point in the cycle from Generation 8, and it showed us the box legendaries, but it didn't show us the evolutions, which makes perfect sense. So very quickly then, let's run through some new information about the first partner Pokemon. We've got Sprigatito. Capricious and attention-seeking, it may sulk if it sees its trainer giving attention to a Pokemon other than itself. When Sprigatito kneads and rubs with its forepaws, a sweet aroma is released that can mesmerize those around it. This aroma has therapeutic qualities and makes opponents lose their will to battle. The composition of its fluffy fur is similar to plants, letting it create energy by absorbing sunlight. It adds moisture to its fur by grooming itself, which aids its ability to photosynthesize. And shout out to Pokemon for getting 2 references to photosynthesis into just one press release. It is the Grass Cat Pokemon. Shockingly, we are talking about a grass type. Anything else, honestly, would have been disappointing. And it's 1 foot 4 inches tall, 9 pounds, with the ability Overgrow, which powers up grass-type moves when the Pokemon's HP is low. Now, Fuecoco, and I love me some Quaxly, but Fuecoco is currently my choice for starter Pokemon. Fuecoco is laid back and does things at its own pace. It loves to eat, and it will sprint toward any food it finds with a glint in its eye. External heat is absorbed by the square scales on Fuecoco's stomach and back, then converted into fire energy. These scales are always warm, and at times they can also grow very hot. Flickering atop Fuecoco's head is fire energy that is leaking out from inside the Pokemon's body. When Fuecoco gets excited, its head spouts more flames. Nice. So what we've got here is the Fire Croc Pokemon, which I kind of love. Fire type, 1 foot 4 inches, 21.6 pounds, and it's got the ability Blaze, which powers up fire type moves when the Pokemon's HP is low. Anybody starting to get a bit of a prediction for what we might see as an ability on Quaxly? Just putting that one out there. And in terms of Quaxly, this serious-mannered Pokemon will follow in its trainer's wake. Quaxly is tidy, and it especially dislikes getting its head dirty. Its body is always glossy because the gel secreted by its feathers repels water and grime. The quiff on its head is slicked back using a rich, moist cream, and it becomes unkempt when dry. It has strong legs and can swim without difficulty, even in places with strong currents. In battle, it kicks its opponents swiftly and repeatedly. Apparently, it's a kicker. So we've got the Duckling Pokemon, Water type, 1 foot 8 inches, 13.4 pounds, and the ability Torrent, which powers up Water type moves when the Pokemon's HP is low. Which again, you could have seen coming. They've all got equivalent abilities. So there we go. We've seen the box legendaries and we've seen the box art. And for what it's worth, I really like the box art design of these games. We've seen the double pack, we've seen the release date, we've got news of the professors, a bunch of new Pokemon, and the fact that it is going to be a multiplayer game in the main campaign, although we don't actually know what the extent of that is as it sounds at the moment. For now, I want to hear what you think about this, and I want to know how much you love Lechonk. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.